change today. We have a small DVD player. Doesn't appear to be a brand on it, just serial number DVD 420. Also plays MP3s by the looks of it. Now, purchased this on eBay, and the seller said it was powered on, but none of the buttons would work. Eject, play, whatever. So I think we'll start by confirming that, I think. So I'm going to plug this in. I think you should be able to see the red light there. Power button. And nothing of that at all. Oh, maybe it just takes time to come on. Right, let's try eject. I'm not sure if you would have been able to pick that up there. The disk drive inside's definitely making some sort of noise. Yeah, something's happening. Sounds like the disk's spinning up. Or stopping, possibly to eject, but then not ejecting. Right, okay. So I think the next step would be, you hear that? Yeah, definitely something going on in there. So let's get it unplugged and we'll get it open and have a wee look inside. So what have we got? Two screws on the side and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the back. It looks it. Should allow us inside. It's quite a small unit, probably ideal for like a caravan or camper van or something. Anywhere where space is a premium. I can't remember how much I paid for this. It was a good few weeks ago that I got it, but it wasn't expensive. A few pound. In fact, it was probably one of the ones where the cost of the item was probably less than the shipping. Come on, up you come. Side, and there's a disc in there already. I'm going to pop this off so we can get access to the mechanism, and we'll see if we can see what's happening with the eject. That'll be the first thing. See what free movie I've received. What have we got here? Doctor Who, The Curse of Paladin. A bit of something on that disc, we'll clean that off and maybe use it for the test. We can see what's wrong with this. Right, well, now I've got the cover off. I'm going to put the power back in. And switch it on. Okay, we've got the green light. Now let's see what actually happens when we hit eject. I was trying to read the disc there. That would have been the noises we would have been hearing when the cover was on. So we hit eject. I heard a little click there, like it was trying to do something. power back off. I can't see anything, and I can't feel if that motor here is turning. I think that motor may be for the laser anyway. Right. Let's pop this front panel off. See if we can manually move the disc tray. Not having a digital display, it could be the only problems, or the main problems, that the tray is jammed in a particular position. That maybe explain why none of the buttons are appearing to work. Come on. That's off on that side. I don't think I'm missing anything here. This board is attached to the front. I don't think it's attached. Where's my glasses? See this a little better. No, that board should come off with the rest of it. Pop off the front here. Usually these clip off. There we go. That was what was holding it on, which would make sense. Right. See if I can take this whole carriage out so I can see underneath. Just 4 screws hold this in by the looks of it. Possible. Should this foot, this screw goes in and connects to the board underneath. No, it's not that. Are attached directly to that board, so these are going to have to come out. There's plenty of dust in this thing. Go. So disconnect that. Plug it up from there. Right. Set this aside for a moment. Right, so this is going to be the motor for the tray. Okay, so the belt's going to be a problem. That's extremely slack. We've got little tabs holding this in. Yep, we do it here and here. Off. But as you can see, that bell is extremely slack. Yeah, it's managing to turn, but yeah, that's definitely going to need replaced. Right, so I'll go see what other belts I've got that's available, and I'll be back shortly. Right, unfortunately, after having a look, I don't have a belt that's even close to small enough to fit here. They're all way too big. I'm going to try putting that belt into some hot water and see if I can recover it enough for testing, but I would highly doubt it. It feels hard. There's no softness to the belt and virtually no stretch, so I think that's pretty much done. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to give all this a clean, rid of all the dust. I think I'll be lubricating that rail. You hear the squeaking? So I'll definitely be doing that. And I'll just give it a general check over and clean, and I'll wait for the belt to come and we can continue from there. Right, so I think we'll start by removing the circuit board here so that I can get better access underneath, so that I can clean and lubricate what's needing done. So we've got one screw there, one screw here. This one. Watch that ribbon cable as well. It's going to come out. It does not want to move. Let's see if I can get it with some pliers. Well in there. Risk damaging the wires or the connector. This one going to come off okay. That's going to be the same. That came out fine. This one, that's fine. Right. Seems to have a bit of tape over the top as well, holding it in place. Go. That's that. Yeah, we got movement. Right. I'll just give that a dust over. It certainly looks fine otherwise. Yeah, I'm not seeing any issues there. So I think for this, obviously, I'll clean. I'm going to clean and grease these rails back up. Dust out. Definitely quite the squeak. Actually seeing any grease at all on any of these cogs. Look like there's absolutely nothing there. So I will be adding some to these when I'm done. I'm just going to use a brush. this off. The rest of that generally looks okay, to be fair. Give this a brush off as well. Right, okay, that's us back. I've got a variety of new bands for hopefully the right size for here. I've given the carriage a clean. I've re-greased here and re-greased the rails, so they should all be okay. Everything seems to be moving freely, and hopefully this is going to be the right size. Get this on, hopefully without touching any grease. Actually that's probably a bit slack. Yeah. So let's see if I've got anything smaller. I think this one's smaller. Smaller but slightly thinner. Hopefully shouldn't make too much of a difference. Yeah, that does seem better. Right. Now there was something else I wanted to check before I went any further, something that I haven't checked yet. It's under here. I just want to make sure that this switch is doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, set that there just now, get the multimeter. Just put it in continuity mode. Oops. And blue and the yellow. And as we slide this across, moves the switch. Yep. Yeah, and it's 0.5, so it's a good connection. Piece this back together a little. Put this back on. Before I do that, put the tray back in. That's also been cleaned and greased. So all should be running nice and smooth. Right way around would help. this disc in. Okay, that's that in, and I think everything else is plugged in. So let's see what it does now. Okay, so we're sitting in standby, red light. Thought I seen that flicker there. In my imagination. Nope, that light's just gone out there and back on. Now I think we might just have a loose connection. Right, the light's on, let's see what turns on. Okay, we've got green light, and I didn't actually press the play button there, it just started spinning. Sounds like it's reading the disc. So I press stop. Absolutely nothing. Play and pause. Oh, so it's not spinning down. I've got eject. That does not sound good at all, that. Power that down a second. Okay, I think the controls issue. I think there's a problem here. I think there's maybe a little connection issue. I'll deal with that in a second. That wasn't sounding right, something's not quite aligned. Getting a bit of a grating noise, which is never good. It's not done anything to the disc. Turn that back on now. At least I'll be able to see what's happening or not happening. Right, let's try powering on again. It's coming on now. I should have just slowed it boot, or that's just purely down to a connection issue. Right, the laser's acting normally. It's trying to read a disc. Okay. I would have thought pressing stop would have stopped the disc spinning. It would have just sat idle. But is that a button issue? Or is it normal behaviour for this? So it seems the alignment's okay now with the drive, so I'm going to get these screws back in. Just plug it again. Unplug these for the moment. Okay, set this aside. I want to have a look at that circuit board. Four screws holding this in. They're all intact. Yeah, they're pushing in fine. Right. Not much to it. Peel this hot glue back a second. Get a bit of isopropyl alcohol on there. Hot glue should just come right off. Should. There we go. Right, we'll have a quick look under the microscope. Right, okay, under the scope. Let's have a quick look at all these joints. Okay, possibly this one here. Yeah, I think I'll reflow that one. See a bit of a line forming round here. I'll go over that one as well. Maybe these three. Yep. Possibly just go over them all, to be fair. Right. Okay, I'll reflow the back of the board. But let's go back to the overhead view. Right. Zoom down a bit. Right, I think first I'm going to check continuity on this cable. Just make sure that's okay. Right, should be able to see that there. Okay, let's just go from one side to that. So there's no breaks in the cable, so that's fine. So now give these switches a little test. Make sure we get the meter in shot. It's not just about whether they beat, we don't really want to see any resistance either. So that's 0.3. So let's see. That's kind of all over the place, that. Try this one. Yeah, the resistance isn't even low enough to make it beep. Yeah, that's a bit random. I think these are all needing cleaned or replaced. Yeah, same with that. So that's what it should be every press, pretty much going down to virtually the same resistance as the leads. See, now it's not doing it, and now it is. Yeah, so that explains a lot. Now do I replace or do I just try and clean? I mean, you can pop the caps off these and give them a clean inside. I do have tactile switches that I could replace them with anyway, that wouldn't be a problem. I suppose for the sake of the video I could show taking them apart. You've basically just got to use a blade and pop these bits off. Once you're done, you just take the soldering iron at the top. Usually melts enough for the plastic to keep the cap on. So that should pop off the top now. That's that. So that's basically what you've got inside here. There's a little metal dome, and you press that. It flattens it, making contact with the bottom part. So if we pop that out, it's probably just a case of, yeah, sure how well you'll see it, but it's a bit tarnished at either end there. So get a little bit of contact clean up. Let's get some of the cotton bud. Hopefully this will be enough, and then give that a clean as well. Hopefully I shouldn't have to scrape it back. Pop that back in. Where did that go? Oh, that's and button on the top. Get the multimeter again. Continuity mode. Yeah, it's still acting up a little. Oh. Helps if the probe's on. No, that one's fine now. Getting about 0.6 on the meter, 0.5. Alright. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to reflow the back of that board, go over all the solder joints, and I'll go through all of these buttons. Don't think there's any need to film that, and I'll come back once that's done. Right, okay, that's that whole board, all the joints resoldered, all the buttons, caps popped off them, cleaned and put back together. Got this partially reassembled, so let's get this all plugged back in. That may have been slightly easier. I've done it while the tray was still in. And if I do it the right way up, always helps. Let's make sure this is in nice and tight. Let's see if it reacts to the button presses better. Okay, stand by. This should just take a slight tap to turn on. Okay, I see a twitch for the disc, that's on. Now is it going to auto spin? Yep. So that behaviour hasn't changed, so I'm assuming that's possibly normal. I still thought pressing stop, but I actually stopped the disc spinning. What about eject? Power it off. Yep, red light. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to piece it all back together completely, and I'll look up to my small monitor, and we'll see exactly what all the buttons are doing and whether they're doing what's expected. Right, so I'll be back once that's done. Right, that's us all pieced back together. I'm going to hook up to my small screen, so let's power it on. Okay. And put this in. The buttons seem to be responding quite well now. So this menu load up.
Doctor Who, the curse of Peladon.
I don't think we can skip this.
To select an option, use the arrow keys and then press enter. Main menu. There are 5 options.
Don't have any arrow keys, I'd imagine they'd be on the remote control. So I think pressing play is about all I can do. Okay, that seems fine. Let's see if it'll skip. Bit on the slow side, but certainly seems to be working. All the buttons are working. So yeah, that seems all good. Right, so all that was actually wrong was the tactile switches on the front panel. They needed stripped and cleaned. The alternative to that would have been just to replace them with new switches. It's fairly straightforward. I mean, there's 4 legs on each. You just desolder them, pop the new one in. Been easy enough. I did go over the solder joints on that board as well, because there was a couple that looked a little suspect, but I think they were making a connection. But worthwhile doing anyway. Also, I cleaned up the audio and video on the back here, the contact cleaner and just moved them in and out just to make sure they were okay and clean. Replaced the belt for the eject mechanism because the old belt, I don't know where I've put that, was misshapen. It's obviously been sitting for quite some time. I did try boiling water, but I mean, as you can see, there's barely any stretch in that. It feels quite brittle. So that, yeah, that needed done. And that was basically that. It seems to play fine. Ideally, you'd want the you would want the remote control, but as this is cheap and unbranded, the odds of finding a remote are probably pretty slim. Right, but that's it all done. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like it, then subscribe to the channel. That's very much appreciated. And if you click the bell notification icon, you'll be notified anytime I upload new content. Thanks for watching. Cheers.